Hi, this is Jason here at RoofSnap.
Hi, and I'm Katrina.
Thanks for joining us for our Wednesday night live demo.
Yes.
We do this for all of you West Coast and Mountain Time subscribers and people who are in the trial. And today we are on an iPad Pro, and it's a good tablet to use from the office or from your truck. Not always the best one to take up on the roof, as it's
Slightly
enormous.
large.
But the smaller 9.7 inch is a good one for taking up on the roof. The Air 2s are still pretty fast and working really well with RoofSnap. What we're going to do today is go into this project that we've already created here on Montclair and sketch it real quick, and then do up an estimate with some of our sample estimate items that we have preloaded into the sample office.
Sounds good.
All right, so we're going to go ahead when we're in the project and tap on sketch, and this is actually something that you won't see for a couple more days. Right now it says RoofSnap.
It does.
Yes, and we're going to change it to sketch to be a little clearer about what this tab does. So right now on your device this will say RoofSnap, but here in a few days it will say sketch. So we'll tap on that so that we can select the image of this roof.
Sounds good.
When we first open up the sketch, we are in the image selection phase, and the first image that loads is Google's satellite imagery. And if we tap on the change map button down here at the bottom, we can see that Apple Flyover is an option. So let's take a look at that. We'll zoom in on that. So that's an image that we could definitely use to sketch this roof. Straight overhead, it's nice and square. There's also a Near Map button here, but this one is only for people who have an annual subscription with Near Map. If you do not have an annual subscription with Near Map, you can make an in-app purchase here and buy a Near Map image for $5. Now you think, $5, why wouldn't I just use the Google image? Well, there's a few reasons.
Tell us why.
This house, I know, I feel like I'm on the Home Shopping Network. So in all reality, though, this image here, we can see the side of the house.
Sure.
And so we know we're not directly overhead. The image is skewed. It's not perfectly square, and there's a tree covering this right corner. So let's go ahead and load in a couple Near Map images. We can see the dates. Near Map has several images for this address. $5. Tap OK. Tap on Purchase in the bottom right corner and confirm the purchase here. The newest image is going to load first. And we already see we don't have any sidewall. We don't have any tree on the corner. We're already much better for drawing than we were with the Google image.
Absolutely. High resolution, no shadows.
Yeah, but you can also switch and look down through the entire history of images that Near Map has for this address. That March 22nd one looks great. That September 18th one looks good too. But having tapped through all of them, I think the March 22nd is going to be the best image. And before we continue to the part where we actually start drawing it, we just want to make the image nice and straight. That's what these red lines are for. So move the image around, check the gutters, check the ridges, make sure you have it nice and straight, and you'll see why. If you don't have it nice and straight, you won't be able to use our new 90 mode. And 90 mode makes drawing so much easier and faster than any other CAD, computer-assisted drawing program for really for any industry.
Yeah, absolutely.
But once you have it squared and centered, then you'll tap on Snap and Start Drawing up here in the upper right-hand corner. Go ahead and continue, and this is going to lock the image in and set the scale so that every line that we draw is a physical measurement based on the the pixels per inch for this image. Now, once we've snapped it, we start off in this pan and zoom mode, and we can really zoom in on the image and move it around in different areas of the screen.
Great.
Let's go ahead and start by drawing out a few lines. So we'll tap on the draw button here in the bottom left-hand corner, and you'll see it kind of darken. And then you put one finger on the screen. Let's start in the upper left-hand corner and draw straight down the eave on the left side of this roof. So to start drawing my line, I do not pick up my drawing finger, but instead I tap on the screen with a second finger, like the thumb of my left hand is what I'm going to use. And you'll see the cursor, when I tap, changes from red to green. That lets you know you can draw out your first line. Now, right now I'm in freestyle mode, and I talked about 90 mode earlier. So right now I can move this line wherever. I can be perfectly straight down or as best as I think, or I can be just a little bit off of straight. But if I come up here where 90 mode is, and I can actually tap that while I'm drawing the line, changes to yellow.
Okay.
Now when I get to vertical, it pops to perfectly vertical.
Nice.
I can still draw diagonally, but as soon as I get close to vertical, it just snaps right to vertical for me. Now to finish this line, I have to tap again. Every line takes 2 taps, one to start it and one to finish it.
Okay.
So when I tap here, that line locked in, and now I can go horizontally to the right. And the 90 is still working for me, but now it's keeping my line sort of snapped right to horizontal. I tap to start that line. I'm going to tap again to end that line and come straight up. Now again, 90 mode is keeping me perfectly vertical. Not only is it keeping me vertical, but it's also going to snap right there, right to where it's level with the top of the line on the left side of the roof. So I can tap again. And now the one difference, because I'm actually going to connect this line to the end of my very first line, the green circle turns to a big red circle. That lets me know it's connected. And once I've connected to it, I tap one more time, and I've got all 4 lines with perfect 90-degree angles on all of the insides.
Awesome. How can we tell if we've successfully connected those lines?
Well, I was going to get to that.
I want to learn.
Before I do that, though, let's close up a few of these other facets so it's not just one big square.
Okay.
So to start a line from an existing corner, you'll see the circle turns big and red, and as soon as it turns big and red, we tap on the screen to start the line. So big circle, tap, draw it out to the ridge. Looks like there's an itty-bitty little baby ridge here. So I'm going to go to about right there, tap on the screen, go up, tap on the screen again, and here we're looking again for that big red circle. There it is. Tap on the screen, we've locked in that line. 2 more hips to draw, so we start on that point, big red circle, tap to start, another big red circle, tap to close. Come down here to this point, big red circle, tap on the screen, come down here, big red circle, tap to close. Now, as Katrina was asking, we want to see all those facets. We want to know that we've drawn them correctly, and we can do that by tapping on facets here.
Awesome.
Shaded in blue. 0-12 pitch. That's the default start. These surface areas are not accurate yet until we put in pitch, and we'll get to that. We want to go ahead and draw the lower level here. So I'm going to start by bringing the line of the ridge straight over. I tap to start the line, and it's going to want to connect right there, but this ridge probably doesn't connect right there. It probably goes underneath a little bit. There's an overhang here. So 26.1 feet right up here. When I bring the line back down, look where this measurement is here.
Okay.
26.1. I want to go about a foot past, so let's go to 27.1 and then tap on the screen. And then come up. And 15.8, well, let's come back just shy of that. Let's go to 14.8. And then over to right there. And then up. And we just want to go just past and come across the front. And it found my spot. Did you see that?
Yeah, makes it so easy. You don't have to guess.
And snap to that point right there and tap on the screen. Now we've drawn in this back section. All right, I'm going to go to pan and zoom, move it around a little bit. And you know what? The house, I think there's a valley here. I think there's a slope here. I don't know what it does in this corner area. So I think it's time for us to take a look at Google Street View.
Okay.
See what the front of this house looks like. Google Street View can be accessed by tapping on this little button down here, this man with a circle around his feet. I never know if we're facing the right direction.
I think that was the house.
Yeah, that's it. Just move down a little bit. Okay, so there was something going on here, and it wasn't exactly what I thought. Looks like the eave comes over, and then a rake comes down, and then another eave comes over, and it connects right into the sidewall under that underhang. And see, we guessed right. The ridge just below that upper eave.
Mm-hmm.
So we drew that correctly. Now, while we're in here, we can also get an idea of the span of the overhangs. And if we look from here, we drew that at a foot, but we probably would have been better off to draw that at about 1.5 feet. And I can tell, and our customers can tell, because they've looked at thousands and thousands of houses and roofs and underhangs. And they probably are going to go on site and do an inspection.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now we know how this goes. We can go back into draw mode, bring our cursor over here and start from this point where we left off. Tap to start the line, come down, come to the bottom of the eave, come over, come down that rake, and if I remember right, it was right in line with that upper roof. It just goes past 1 foot. Come up the step wall, big red circle to connect it right there to the left side of the ridge. And the cool thing about this roof is it has an overhang. And when we draw the overhangs in, like we've just done, not actually connecting upper stories with lower stories,
Right.
we'll get double shading for wherever the overhangs exist.
Gotcha.
That lets us know that RoofSnap is accounting for the materials both above on the upper level and below where the overhangs exist.
Gotcha.
All right, well, we better label up these lines. So to do so, we're going to go to Edges, and we're going to see our labels. Now, since we're going to do a quick estimate on this roof, we're going to need to tap on eaves once, but tap on eaves a second time to reveal our sublabels. Ice and water shield and eave edge. You could even add gutters and gutter guard if you wanted to. And then you just tap on each line. Once all the eaves are labeled, we'll go down to rakes, but tap on rakes a second time and grab rake edge. That's a designation for the metals that go at the edges. So for gutters, for eaves, it could be gutter apron or drip edge, and at rakes, it's usually a drip edge metal put on at the rakes. And we just have those 3 rakes to do. You know what? I missed one eave edge as well. You're probably noticing that down here in the front.
That's okay, since you've already selected ice and water and
Yeah.
eave edge on there. It's remembered that option, so you don't have to go back and select it again.
Exactly. That's good to point out. Hips, we can tap on those. There are no sublabels for hips. Ridge, let's say we need some ridge vent. Well, we tapped on ridge twice, and we get the ridge vent sublabel, so we could put ridge vent on that one. But you know what? This little baby ridge here, probably too small for ridge vent, so we don't have to put it on that one. Looks like I've got another rake that I didn't see. That tiny little one up here, right there. And then step flashing and step wall. So let's go ahead and get that. Let's put some ice and water shield up the step walls as well. And then that last little line, well, that's a horizontal roof to wall. We call that apron. Well, we call it wall. But the flashing, when we tap on wall, we call apron. And a little ice and water shield there too.
Sounds good. This roof will be watertight.
Yep. All right, let's look at a few more supplementary images. NESW, northeast, southwest. These are images of the roof. So go ahead and tap on one, and you'll see these come from Bing if you're curious. Tap on south, see it from the front. But better than those, in most locations, but not all locations, is this little button down here in the bottom right-hand corner. This is called Apple 3D Imagery. And when we tap on that, especially in Columbus and other metropolitan areas, and even some less metropolitan areas, you'll see this Apple imagery as this really cool 3D environment. And I'm just rotating my 2 fingers on the screen to move around the roof. What I want to do is I want to get pitch. The goal for me is to get pitch on this gable end. And to do that, I want to put my vertical line on the on the ridge.
Mm-hmm.
On the ridge. And then when I put 2 fingers on the screen, I can actually rotate the angle of the camera up and down, straight overhead, or come all the way down low in the sky. And I can't go too low because that tree is going to be in my way, but that should be good right there. Now what I just did, there's a magnification button up here in the upper left-hand corner. So tap on that. And when you've magnified with that button, you can then continue to magnify with pinching and zooming.
Great.
Now, what is this, you ask? Does it look like a protractor icon? I think it does. So I'm going to tap on that. and show you the pitch card that appears that you can then use to get pitch. But bear in mind, we had to get that red line right perfectly straight with the ridge in order for this to be accurate. So 512 it is. Now I'm going to get pitch on one of the hips real quick as well. And this is a little more convoluted, and we have a bunch of videos that explain in detail how this works. But I'm just going to do it quickly. So I am lining up the horizontal line with the ridge and the vertical line close to the gutter. And then I'm changing the angle. I was straight overhead. Now I am at more of a bird's eye view. I've created a relationship between where those hips meet the ridge up here and down the slope. That's straight down the slope. So now when I open up my pitch card, and I am expecting this to be 512 just like the other gable, but I was wrong. It looks like it's not quite a 4. It's steeper than a 4. I'm going to round that up to 5. 4 didn't look like it was quite good enough. 5 looks like it's a little bit over, but 5 is probably what it is.
Yeah.
Now we back all the way out, and we go to facets, and we see they're all still 0, but we know they're 5. So let's go over here to pitch, tap on pitch, select the 5, tap on that. And then since they're all the same, we can just hit apply to all, putting 512 on every slope. The last thing we need to do here in the sketch mode is drop a few accessories on the roof. We do that by adding pins, and pins is right here. So what am I seeing? I'm seeing a couple soil pipe boots. So let's go to plumbing boots. Let's grab the 1 to 3 inch and let's get one there and there. Are there any more? Nope, but there is a chimney, and there is another pipe back there. So let's put one more there. Now let's go to, low battery. We not plugged in?
Thought we were.
Yeah, we're plugged in. All right, we have to do this quick before the battery dies.
And go.
All right, so let's go to off ridge vents, and I don't know for sure if it's a power vent, but you of course would know when you're on site. So let's put a power vent there, and also go back in and grab some hat vents, some box vents that is. Put one there, and one there. Chimney flashing.
And all of this stuff, by the way, can be customized per your accessories, your pricing, things like that.
Yeah, we have a bunch of like pinnable items in here already. But if you got some that you don't use, you can delete them. And if you've got ones that you need that we don't have in here, you can create them custom. And we can always show you how to do that. Lots of videos on creating new items as well.
Yep.
So check out our YouTube channel for all of our other videos. With the pins here on the roof, we are done with the drawing. So we're going to go ahead and hit the done button in the upper right hand corner. And RoofSnap is going to give us a cut waste suggestion based on the math that we have in our little algorithm here. For production, it's suggesting 8.98% waste for this roof. I'm going to go ahead and tap on yes, but you can definitely tap on no if that's not one you want to use. However, in measurements, you can go in and manually change that waste percentage. Let's say 13%. Make it whatever you want. It's going to recalculate your total squares based on whatever waste percentage you use. Down here in the documents, you can then create your own personal sketch report. Generate new. This is going to create a PDF with all of the measurements and all of the pins right in the document itself. And there it is. All right, so on the document, of course, your company logo would appear at the top. Your customer's information would appear. Your information and the salesperson or the manager who created this measurement would show up at the top. The Bing images, the pitch breakdown. And if you've ever ordered a measurement report from one of those other companies, you've probably seen documents like this, where ultimately what you're going for are your squares, your linear measurements, and your category measurements so that you know what's on the roof. Breakdown now by area, all of the accessories and their locations, kind of making a map of all the accessories that go on the roof. And we didn't add any photos or notes, but please check out some more of our videos and you'll see how to add photos and notes to all of these pins for inspection purposes. Now, to create an estimate, we're going to come here to the fourth tab, which in your app is currently called specifications, but we're changing that and we're going to call it estimate or estimate. Depends on whether it's a noun or a verb, right? I think it's a verb in this case. So let's go to estimate, and you'll see the pins were actually real items, and so they already appear with prices in our estimate platform here. Now we're going to come down to select the shingle. Let's just grab a GAF timber line and select a color, and then tap on done. Then let's come down to add material. And we have lots of pre-made material categories. You can make your own new categories. You can delete out items. You can add new items. We have a full database filled with products and labor and different materials and just almost everything you would need for a roof estimate. Mm-hmm. But you can also create your own custom items if there's something you need that we don't have. Remove and dispose, architectural, second layer, we won't need that. Ice and water shield, deck armor for the underlayment, plastic caps, starter, closed valley, drip at the eaves, drip at the rakes, step flashing, apron flashing. Oh, the chimney, we've already got that. See, it's already yellow, so we don't have to add that one. But coil nails, better get that. Some Z-ridge. For those of you who are watching, I hope you're GAF fans. But next video, we'll do an Owens Corning, just to keep it balanced. Let's go with Cobra Snow and Country Ridge Vent. And you see the measurements. For each category we're selecting, the measurements are already there.
Great.
And it's going to convert, based on coverage ratios, how many boxes of Snow and Country we need. It's going to turn the linear foot into boxes or squares or bundles or whatever the item is sold by. Mm-hmm. Let's see, is there anything else we need? How about 1 can of spray paint and 1 tube of NP1? That should do it. Now we have a complete estimate, $8,982.96. And let's say there's just one more thing we need to add, but it wasn't in our database because it was a special item. Maybe we had to call and get a quote. Let's say there was, I'm not being very creative today, special item quote, and let's say it was another $500. We need one of those, and we'll tap on save. That could have been a negative. We could have done a discount minus $500. Mm-hmm. The custom line item can be a discount as a percentage or a markup as a percentage as well for things like O&P or credit card processing fee, or from state to state you have all these different markups that may be required. Mm-hmm. Back to estimate items though. Now we have a completed estimate with a total. So let's jump back to documents. And from here you can generate the estimate, the contract, the material order sheet, the project summary report, the labor summary report. You don't have to do them in any particular order. Sometimes I like to go straight to the summary report just to see, is this job going to make a profit before I bother with getting a signed contract? So when we open up the summary report, we can see how much this job is going to cost, total labor, total material, taxes, total job cost. And then we actually have some sales commissions set up for this particular user. So he's going to make a little money, the company's going to make a little money, and the whole job's going to come in at 57.51% gross margin. Oh wait, nope. Where's it at? 32.49% gross profit. There it is. I was looking at the wrong one.
That's all right.
There we go. And then the roofing trade separated out as well. Now let's jump back to the documents and let's generate an estimate so that you can see what that looks like. All right, there we have an estimate PDF. And in here you can see all the line items. And right now you can actually see a lot. You can see the quantities for each line item. 18.8 squares of deck armor. 309.77 for that line item. Well, just so you know, you don't have to share that information. There are settings when you log into RoofSnap's website, roofsnap.com, and you can turn off quantities at the line item, and you can turn off pricing at the line item, and you can show tax or not show tax. And there's a bunch of different settings that you can use to customize how and what information you show and share with your customers. Mm-hmm. The little share button, by the way, for sharing that information is up here in the upper right-hand corner. Here we have, you can send it as a text message.
Interesting. Interesting.
You can email it, Google Drive, Dropbox, print it. Just about anything that you would want to do with it, you can share it up here with that button. And the last thing we'll do before we sign off today is capture the signature for the contract.
Sounds good.
All right, so here's the capture signature button. Let's tap on that. And this is going to give us a view of the contract that the homeowner can review. Mm-hmm. Your terms and conditions, everything below this contract price right here can all be customized on the website. Katrina also helps out with our nicest customers by setting up their contracts for them.
That's true.
Yep.
If you're nice, then give me a call.
Yep.
I will create one for you.
Absolutely. And then we tap here, opens up this little box, and you can sign it. Or the customer can sign it, I suppose. And then we save, and now it's generating a PDF. As soon as this save screen goes away, we will tap on Documents right up here at the top, and it brings us back out. Now we can see this contract PDF. When we open up the contract PDF, it's going to look a little different than what we just signed. It's a physical PDF again. Your company logo, the customer's information, your company's information. But my favorite part is the name of the shingle is right at the top. The fasteners that are going to be used, right at the top. The starter that's going to be used, right at the top. Those three primary products. And an image of the shingle that's going to be installed. So there's
Really
no
nice.
getting it wrong.
Yeah, very nice to see.
Biscayne Blue, GAF Timberline HD right there on the contract. Then, as you scroll down, you'll see all the same information, but also an embedded signature with a date stamp.
Nice.
Yep. Terms of the agreement down at the bottom. Share button again in the upper right-hand corner. So I'm down to 8% battery life here on the good old iPad, so we better call it quits for today. Thanks so much for joining us. I'll leave it to Katrina to inform you of all of the ways to contact us if you have any questions.
That is true. There are various ways to contact us. Probably the best is to just pick up the phone and give us a buzz. 877-766-3762. That's 877 RoofSnap. In case you're feeling creative. But we would love to hear from you and answer any questions you might have. Also, feel free to just email support@roofsnap.com, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can.
Sounds great. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Have a great night.
Bye-bye.